And we're back. All right, welcome back to the Boys Experience, where me and the our boy DJ Nicely over here talk about random topics going on in the world. Sorry we missed last week. We had some power issues over here in Michigan with the storms that came through, and it just messed with our schedule. So we decided to skip last week, but we got some good episodes coming up for you. We got this episode, and then the next episode we're gonna do is gonna be a pretty long one. I'm gonna try to make it long anyway because it's the fifth episode, uh, and celebrate it. We made it to 5 after this. You know what I mean, Dakota?
Of course.
Yes, sir.
Probably going to be more, I don't know, more like actually conversational, like more conversation driven in the next one than, necessarily topic driven.
Yeah. More than likely, we'll have a lot more conversations, just random things that are thinking off the top of our head instead of looking up news that we usually want to talk about. But speaking of news that we have, not too much has happened with the Blizzard Activision lawsuit. Some people have stepped down in Blizzard. Some people have been fired. There's another lawsuit though that has been going on with Blizzard and Activision through their shareholders for not telling them the full story. And this morning, the shareholders had released a statement. I believe it was this morning or yesterday. Let me clarify that. And they had said that they were unhappy with the punishment that Activision was going to get, including Blizzard. And that they wanted a better punishment. So, Dakota, what are your thoughts so far on what's happened with Activision and Blizzard and how this conversation between them has just stopped, really?
Well, so like you said, and I think we talked like briefly about last time, right? The president that was the president of Blizzard has stepped down.
Yes.
They resigned. Good old Alan Brack. And after that, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, who
You want to cue us for a
they're
game?
doing. Oh, I didn't realize you joined me. Sorry. But yeah, if I'm not mistaken, they're co-leading. Like they're co-presidenting now. With people I can't remember. Like someone that used to be like a developer with Xbox. Yeah, here it is. The former Vicarious Visions leader Jen O'Neill and the one-time Xbox executive Mike Ibarra are going to step up to co-lead Blizzard for the time being until they figure out what their system is that they're going to continue. They might keep the co-leader system that they've got going right now. But anyway, after he resigned and they came up with the system, they fired 3 more senior employees, which one of them was the director of Diablo 4, large game franchise for Blizzard in general. They also fired the game's lead designer for Diablo 4, and they fired a designer for World of Warcraft. Now, it appears that by firing some of these, these are like higher up, like senior employees in the company, right? Like been there a while. They had like important jobs, lead designer of one of their biggest games, lead director of one of the biggest games, right? So it appears that they're actually starting to at least get rid of some of the people that, have been called, a problem in the company and etc., right? So it looks like they're taking steps in the right direction, at least, in terms of like resignations and firing people that have been a problem reported by many people, right? On the note of the other lawsuit here, yeah, so the shareholders, at least one of them, decided that they were going to sue Activision Blizzard on the basis that they did not let the shareholders know that they were being sued by the state of California for the sexual harassment and all that stuff. So he's basically saying that they are affecting the shareholders by not letting them know like the extent that they were being sued, etc. They're affecting like the shareholders' money in the company and stuff like that. So at least one shareholder has decided to sue. I don't know if any more have and jumped on board with that or anything. And I can let you speak about the you saw that article you were talking about with the
Shareholders being unhappy.
with the shareholders being unhappy there. Yeah.
Yeah, so the shareholders have announced that they're very unhappy with the punishment that's being given to Activision and Blizzard, which is not a really bad punishment. I think it's just a fine, and we talked about that in the early stages of this lawsuit, and how we're pretty sure it's just going to be a fine, and how big of an issue that is of just giving a company that's as big as Activision Blizzard just a fine for something that's such a serious allegation, where we're dealing with sexual harassment in the workplace, and that's just not right, and not telling your shareholders like the full truth and stories that are going on in your workplace is really big as like of an issue, because your shareholders technically own some of the company. You know what I mean? They have a stake of the company, and that's their money you're messing with. So and as much as messed up as it is to look at it that way for shareholders, because I'm sure they only see it as, they're losing some money with this news coming out.
Oh yeah.
But like, it is people's money at the end of the day. It's a business, and this hurts them. So yeah, there's a big issue right now with shareholders being unhappy with Activision's punishment, and they want more, and they're calling for more in court. We'll see how that plays out, and if it will even hit public news. I doubt it. Usually stuff that involves shareholders and stuff like that doesn't really hit public news. It's not as flashy for regular news to cover it. So
Well, not even just like for this specifically, like the shareholder thing, like not really hitting news or whatever, but like it feels like at least recently for this case, there has been like really no more extra news since like the like August 3rd, like the week of August 3rd. That's like the last time there was like real news, and that's like when the former president resigned, and they did all that stuff. They fired those couple of senior employees. That's like the last real big news that's like come out, it seems, around the case, right? So
yeah, and me and you kind of called this when we first saw this case coming to light. We said it on I believe the second episode of the podcast, how we had said that we don't think that this case is going to blow up, or this case is going to get thrown behind,
yeah,
there's going to be a lot of paying news companies off to not show this case off in its former light, and it's shown, it seems to be, so far, because we're not seeing as much anymore, and Activision and Blizzard have that power to do so. So, and that's disappointing. You always wish that this could be spreaded in a more bigger way than it is, because if it doesn't, then it's going to continue happening. I don't know how you fully eliminate a problem like this, because it's such a huge problem that's seems to be just spread around the world at this point, and it has been for a long time. It's an issue that we're gonna have, and as people, I don't know, how do you, what are your ideas coming up to, like, trying to figure out some sort of an ideal way of fixing this in the workplace, fixing these type of issues?
Man, well, honestly, I don't think, it sounds terrible, but I don't think there really is a way to fix it other than just make sure you don't hire creepy, weird people that sexually harass others, right? But I mean, at the same time, you can't really tell that someone's going to sexually harass someone,
Yeah.
by seeing them or whatever, right? So, I mean, sadly, I don't think it's really a thing you can reasonably get
Prevent.
rid of,
Yep.
right?
And it's
So,
not, and that's the biggest issue coming out of this. It shows you that, and there's also another issue, a lying issue in this whole thing, and that is that some people just don't see right from wrong. That they can't see it, and it doesn't bother them. Doing wrong does not bother them at all, and all it does is they just look the other way, and that's a big issue in our society. That's like I was watching a video on polygraphs, and the issue with a polygraph is that if you have somebody that thinks that they do no wrong and they believe they do no wrong, then it won't work because the machine is based off of your body's,
it's like your heart rate and everything.
your heart rate, sweat, so on and so forth. And when you have somebody that believes that they do no wrong, it means nothing. So that's an issue alone in our society, that people believe in no wrong. Obviously, you walk up to a Quaker, that'll work on a Quaker, but it's not going to work on and nothing against Quakers, but that's just Quakers tell no lie, But if you're somebody that believes that they can't do any wrong themselves and stuff like that, then you're gonna have that issue for forever. And obviously, we have people like that in this world. That's unfortunate, but it is the way it is. And we'll try to cover the topic as more comes out on Activision and Blizzard's lawsuits. It's going to be really tough to find stuff and probably updates on it because, like I said, I feel that there's been a little bit of paying media off a little bit here, in my opinion. There's no reason why this story should have dropped off as bad as it has over the past couple of days. But like I said, here on the Boys Experience every week, we're going to try to cover it a little bit, let you guys know what's going on with that, if there's any news.
I think that might also I think I might have said it before, I don't remember, but I think it might also be kind of a just a court proceedings thing, to where they're not releasing anything until after the case is done, right? So
for sure, yeah, you don't want to release. There's going to be issues with stuff can't be said outside of the courtroom, because that works, lawyers and stuff like that, and how some stuff can be damaging to people's cases. So there won't be much said after this. I'm pretty sure we won't even hear anything after this, but the fact that Activision has basically created a 180, because at first they were denying the allegations, and now they were pretty much accepting it.
And they were talking about how the lawsuit was unethical and all this garbage and whatnot. So, and
you were just telling me now they're paying their employees for the walkout that they did, which we haven't even discussed yet. Is that their employees walkout?
We mentioned it, I think, slightly last time, because it was the same week that it happened. But we didn't know anything that would come from afterwards, right? So they actually Blizzard actually paid their employees that were part of the walkout. They counted it, I think they gave them vacation time for the walkout day, and they actually paid the employees that participated in the walkout. So look at that how you want to, but I'd consider that, even if it's pandering. Yeah, even if it's pandering for pity points or something like that, at least they still did it, right?
Yeah, I guess I still don't think it dismisses too much, but I will say at least they gave them a little bit of something for recognizing their worth in the workplace, because that's important, and a lot of companies, we talked about this on last episode, a lot of companies have an issue with respecting people, their work, or their workers. I've seen it with places I've worked at so far. I'm sure you've seen it, Dakota, especially since we worked at the same place before.
Yep.
Yeah, we've seen it before, and it's gross, it's annoying, and it's not fun to be around. Not a great environment. So I'm glad that at least the community has forced Activision into a response that is such kind of making them look over this and making them have to. And
Yeah.
it's not about a want, or it's not about a yeah, it's not about a want thing. It's about it needs to happen. So that's all the news there, and like I said, we'll try to keep you guys updated on the story if anything else comes out. I doubt anything else is going to come out of that story, but like I said, we'll keep you updated. But speaking of Activision Blizzard and Call of Duty, might as well continue that topic. So there's been a lot of leaks lately of the next Call of Duty, specifically for Call of Duty Vanguard. It is a World War II game. We're going back to World War II for Call of Duty. How do you feel about that, Dakota?
Let's see. So, me personally, if the actual World War II Call of Duty showed me anything, it was that I was not a fan of that.
Yeah.
At least that Call of Duty, the way that they made it. So, if I don't have a problem with the time period. In fact, I actually quite enjoy the time period, right? All the stuff that was in there, right?
Okay.
Not for the war,
Right.
obviously, but the stuff that was developed during the time and all that, like the weapons. I think the weapons are cool.
Yeah.
But if they make the game in that time period and they make it an actually good, okay game, then I won't have an issue with it, right? This is kind of a split thing, I think, between most people, if they liked Cold War or not. I personally didn't have a large issue with Cold War. I thought it was better than a lot of the Call of Duties they released previously in the last 10 years, right? So,
Yeah, for sure. Well, I personally prefer Modern Warfare. I'm a big fan of
oh,
Modern Warfare and the engine that it's built upon, and I'm really excited to hear that the new
the
Call
new
of Duty
ones on
Vanguard.
that engine.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. I think that the gameplay on Modern Warfare, I think, was just smoother in general. It's
Yep.
just the game was so slow that people just camped everywhere, and it made it I don't want to say difficult to get a lot of kills or anything like that, but the games are just so slow. Like in a normal lobby that you played, the most kills someone would have could be 16 and the game would end, right? That's
Yeah.
not, if you've played any Call of Duty like Black Ops 2 or something like that, Modern Warfare 3, getting 16 kills in a lobby would get you laughed at.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the top scorer in the Modern Warfare game, right? So it's just,
You're looking for something that's more of a fast-paced time to kill aggression, and I totally agree with that.
yeah.
I 100% agree with that. I think it's a little bit tough to do that though in a game that's World War II environment. Do you think?
Yeah.
Because of just how, because if they, depending on how they play it, right? I guess it varies. World War II, the game itself, when they released it, wasn't too bad. It just, there was no content, in my opinion, that got released after the fact, and that it killed the game. And at the time, battle royales were the surge. Fortnite was popular.
Fortnite still is popular.
Yeah, Fortnite is still popular 100%. But I believe that now with Vanguard, I think they might have to try to release something that is, I don't want to say, they have to release something that is enjoyable, but at the same time, it has to be balanced. And it has to be and I also feel like it has to fit into the timeline of Call of Duty somehow, because especially if they're adding a campaign to it, right? And how they've been doing these Warzone Warzone has been treated as like, 141 was integrated into Cold War's era and like the Black Ops era, so that's interesting. So they're trying to combine the whole world together, and I'm curious to see how they do that with World War II. I think World War II actually had one of the best campaigns of Call of Duty. I don't know if you ever got to play it, Dakota. But
I did, yeah.
Very, very good.
Yeah, it was a pretty good one in terms of Call of Duty campaigns. Just side tangent related to Call of Duty and their campaigns in the first place. If you're a person that buys Call of Duty just to play the multiplayer and you never play the campaign, you're shorting yourself.
Yep, 100%.
At least on like 90% of them. There's a couple of them that have some questionable ones that you really don't need to play, but like some of them are pretty good, like nice, actually, like could probably be released as a story game and people would play it, right?
Dude, yeah, I think one of those games, as an example, is Call of Duty Ghost. Got the most shit because it had the worst maps, and I will agree, it had shitty maps,
Yeah, Ghost had a quite a good campaign.
It had a really good campaign. It was deep behind it. Another one, Advanced Warfare. Shit game, multiplayer-wise, but campaign-wise, pretty good. I'll give them that. Campaign, it had a really good plot twist. I won't spoil it for anybody that has not played it, but if you haven't, go give it a playthrough. It has a very, very heavy plot twist, and that's really nice. I really like that, and something Call of Duty seems to do pretty well is the good guys don't always win in their campaigns. I don't know if you've noticed that.
That is true.
Yeah, and
like kind of like
really
Call of Duty Ghosts.
Yeah. It's Call of Duty Ghost, a little bit of a spoiler, but at the end, you technically lose, and I've always wanted to see what would happen.
You think you win, but
yeah, you think you win, but you lose, and I always wanted to see another Call of Duty Ghost, and we never got one because obviously Infinity Ward was working on their new engine and Activision was looking towards futuristic games. Wasn't the future obviously for the gaming world, and we went, lo and behold, back to boots to the ground. But if there was ever a game that I would love to see them continue making, or Infinity Ward to get the rights to do it for, it would definitely be Ghost 2. I would love to see a Ghost 2. I don't know if there's another series in Call of Duty that you would like to see come back, Dakota, but I'm rooting for Ghost 2.
Personally, I agree. I think that Ghost 2, as long as they make the campaign like decent and they don't fuck it up somehow, I think that would be good.
Yeah, I think everything was great about Ghost except the maps. The maps were horrible, and I will agree with that.
Bad.
Yeah.
But like, what I was going to say something. I don't remember what I was going to say. Oh, another good example. It's probably like the most used example, actually, of like the Call of Duty campaign is the entire Modern Warfare series.
Oh, dude!
Like Modern Warfare 2, and Modern Warfare 3, with 3 being the finale of the series, of the series, and I'd say pretty damn good ending to the whole series.
That whole series, might I say, could have been a fucking movie series. That could have been a killer movie.
Oh, it still could be. Yeah. They could make that a movie, and I would go watch it.
I would go watch it 1000%. And I never understood why they never did. Whether they made it an animated movie or they made it a live action movie, I would have still went and watched it because I played through all 3 and I know how the campaigns play out.
Yeah, I mean it's a
great. I think it's actually one of the best campaign series ever in a multiplayer game.
The final climactic fight at the end of 3 to like end the series, I can still vividly remember the whole entire sequence. You pull up fucking
To that
pull
tower.
up to the little place.
Yeah.
You know, there's cops outside or whatever. You fucking you like drive through them. They're shooting at you or whatever.
Then you go up you
And
scale the
then
building.
yeah, you're in a juggernaut suit. You're fucking. I think it's Yuri that
Yep.
you are.
No,
in the
you are
thing. You're-
Captain
you're-
Price in the last mission, and you're next to Yuri, and you're going up there, and Yuri goes. Remember, because Yuri dies.
Yeah, because Yuri dies at
Yeah.
the top. He gets flung into the like rebar thing, and it stabs through him.
Yeah. And
then you take a giant metal rope and you strangle fucking
Makarov with it.
Makarov to death, and then you break through a window and fucking he hangs himself. Well, he doesn't hang himself, but he hangs from the thing that you're strangling him with.
Yeah, and then Captain Price smokes a cig.
And then you light a cigar. The most badass way to end the thing.
Yep.
You fall through a fucking skylight. You kill the bad guy. You land on your back. You're like, oh fuck, let me light a cigar. And you just start fucking puffing, bro.
Quite literally the best movie ever, or movie. I'm already calling it a movie. Quite literally best campaign that's ever been released in a multiplayer, and I can argue one of the best story games I've ever played. It's not even a story game, and it's one of the best stories I've ever experienced in the world.
Soap.
Yeah.
And MW3, like the mission where he dies, you're like, wait, hang on.
That plot twist in that one was insane.
Actually killing Soap?
Yeah.
And then you're like, wow, they actually killed Soap.
When they killed Riley and Roach. And it wasn't even a bad guy, it was Shepard. It was the US military leader.
Yeah.
Dude, that killed me, you know? Like I was like, that hurt me. And I felt like I had, like, as a kid, I was like, I felt so attached to that I was laughing when I killed Shepard. Like, you know, I remember that physically, that I was actually laughing. And I feel psychotic for saying that, but
also,
dude.
I mean, the way in MW2, the way that MW2 ends with fucking as Soap and Captain Price working together to kill fucking you know, General Shepard.
Well,
right?
the attachment,
like that whole thing.
the attachment that they give you to Soap and Captain Price specifically is one for the books, you know, and it tells you a lot, because when we all thought Soap was probably dead in the first MW3 mission, you know what I mean? They were trying to revive him. He was dead, basically.
Oh yeah, and then when at the end of 2, Yuri comes in.
Yep.
Or not Yuri, fucking
Nikolai.
Yeah, Nikolai. I don't know why I said Yuri. Russian names, I guess. But but Nikolai comes in and he's like, "Hey, what's up? I heard you guys needed a transport heli or whatever." I'm like, "Bro." And then, you know, Soap's mortally wounded.
Yeah. And I think when Soap died, like a piece, you knew that Modern Warfare 3 was obviously the last. If you didn't know from them saying that it was the last one in the series, you would have known when they killed off Soap in Modern Warfare 3 and the Sniper Tower mission. And then not only that, the great plot twist where Soap's last word is Yuri knows Makarov.
Yeah.
That is like that. When you heard that, you were like, wait a minute, you know? You were like, wait, what? I don't know how they did it, but they pulled off a story to a video game series that was supposed to be just very multiplayer oriented, and they managed to make a story that was so good that I could replay it multiple times through my head, because I played it multiple times. Because it was that damn good, and it was so entertaining to play, and the replayability there was fun. Yeah, they nailed it, and even with Modern Warfare 2019, the newest Modern Warfare game that came out, that kind of shows you how Captain Price and Gaz got together and met. Because Gaz was in Modern Warfare or Call of Duty 4. And you don't get to know much about Gaz other than the fact that he fights along with Price, and Price has known him for a little bit at that point in time. And he dies to Zakhaev on that bridge when Zakayev is going through and killing all of the 141 members, and it's rough, man. It's a rough thing, but that's a good story for you. It'll pull on your heartstrings a little bit, just to make you feel a certain way. And they nailed it. They nailed Modern Warfare pretty good, in opinion. Modern Warfare 2019, that is. And I really hope that they can go back to that storytelling that they were doing back in the day. And if this is a message if there's any message behind what we've been talking about for the past 10 minutes with story mode in Call of Duty, Activision and Blizzard, dude, you need to make at least some TV shows or movies on 141 at least. Yeah, that's a good name in itself. 141, the TV show. You know? Couple seasons of that. That'd be pretty cool, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. Maybe you should hire me to
yeah, hire me to direct it or something.
You know?
I'm down.
I'm down. But yeah, I think that is a pretty interesting topic in itself.
It was a bit of a long tangent.
Yeah. But back to Vanguard. From what you've seen so far, I don't know what you've seen actually, Dakota. What have you seen so far on Vanguard?
I mean, I haven't seen a whole lot. Like, I've seen the picture leak thing or whatever, and like the Vanguard little like banner or whatever. And I mean, I've heard a couple things about whatever is supposed to be in the game. But that's, it's a really... I haven't seen a whole lot. And I know that they're supposed to be doing this Warzone thing on the 19th.
Yep.
But, I mean, other than that, that's pretty much it that I've seen.
So, some videos came out. Call of Duty actually tweeted a quick cutscene that confirmed, obviously, World War II era, and they basically had all these bombers flying over, I want to say somewhere in Europe. It was just these, like a ton of bombers.
I did see that.
Oh, you did see that?
Yeah.
Okay, they leaked that, and then they started talking on Twitter. They were, like, confirming some of the rumors. They only confirmed some of them. They didn't confirm all of them. Funny enough, they didn't confirm the anti-cheat rumor, so... That's pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah. Raven did tweet that they were working on something for like an anti-cheat or whatever. God knows if it's gonna do anything.
They said they've been working on it for the past year, but I doubt it. Do you think they're telling the truth there? Working on an anti-cheat for a whole year?
No, it's like what they did with... Man, I don't remember what Call of Duty it was. Was it World War II? I don't remember. They were like, we've been working on this Call of Duty for 4 years.
They did that with Modern Warfare 2019, did they not?
Oh, maybe that's what it was. Yeah, I don't remember. But I remember one of the more recent Call of Duties were like, we've been developing this game for 4 years, and then it came out. And if it was Modern Warfare 2019, I mean, like I said, good game, good engine, all that stuff. But like they gave it such a terrible like gameplay atmosphere for a 4-year development.
Yeah.
Like, so I was just like, there's no way they spent 4 years on.
Yeah, and I love the idea of Modern Warfare. The engine runs great. I think that the gunplay...
When it doesn't crash.
Yeah, when it doesn't crash. And give you a dev error.
That you can't fix.
Yeah. Though it's has potential. But sometimes that potential seems to be squandered by Activision's own undoing. That seems to be Activision's greatest threat in itself, you know? That's kind of like whenever back in the day on console, whenever a brand new game like Anthem or what's another good example? The Division, when those games came out, they were considered the Destiny killers. The video game Destiny that Bungie developed, and it turns out that they weren't even close. In fact, at launch they were arguably way worse.
Anthem was dog poo-poo, bro. One of my friends was super. He was like, he like pre-purchased the Anthem shit and whatnot, and he was like, "Bro, I can't wait for it to come out." And I'm like, "Bro, that game is dog shit."
Well, that's like you knew it was gonna be dog shit once you saw EA was the owner. The second you saw that title on EA's name, you know, the only good game EA's come out with in the past, I don't know, 5-6 years is Star Wars Battlefront 2, which wasn't even their doing. It was DICE, and they still managed to fuck up the launch of that game because they decided, hey, we're gonna throw a shit ton of loot boxes in here and fuck up your game, DICE.
Oh yeah. Not only that, what was it? They were like, it was you could either buy the character or put like, what was it, like 200 hours of gameplay in to get it?
Yeah.
Or you could put 200 hours of gameplay in, or you could spend $20 and buy the character. Up to you guys.
Yeah.
But hey guys, don't yell at us. You can still get it in the game. You don't have to pay for it.
Yeah. And that's
like,
it's ridiculous. Man. Yeah. 100. It's ridiculous that even happened. But that's just EA for you, you know. But
it's almost most gaming companies nowadays. But
yeah, there's an.
I mean, they
there.
found. Like the popular ones, at least, they found a system that works, and the system is fucking make your game free and put a fuck ton of microtransactions in it.
Yep, and cosmetics.
And you will make way more money that way. Like Fortnite, for example, Warzone free. You can buy the gun packages and shit for skins and all that.
Yep.
I mean, and they're not cheap. Most of them are at least $20 for, you know, thing. And if you buy multiple, you know, they're making, you know, they can make it up to $100 a person, right? You know, just for buying like a couple of the packs. Also, if you buy the battle pass or anything like that, you know, that's another model that they found works is battle passes.
Yep. $10 like, for a value, technically value.
Yeah, it's like, here, you spend a couple bucks and you get this 100 tier thing, where every tier you get a new thing. All you have to do is play the game. You already like our game. You're playing it. So, I mean, it's basically free value. Yeah.
And everybody buys into it, obviously. You know, very popular idea across the gaming industry right now. And don't get me wrong, I love free games, you know. Paying $60 for a game, not that fun. Especially with prices of games now increasing, which I still think, going back to EA, it's really ridiculous that they charge how much for Madden games every year. They charge $70 now for a brand new Madden game, and on top of that, the only way to do great in that game, besides grinding for 200 hours to get that one card, is to
open the packs.
Yep, it's to buy packs.
And it's not just Madden either; it's all the sports games, right?
Yep,
you know, like FIFA. FIFA comes out every year. It's the same people every year.
Yep, they're just different ratings.
Maybe someone retired. Maybe there's some new rookies, but I mean, pretty much the same people every year. And you know, what do? You buy cards. You hope to get, you know, Prime Ronaldo, or something like that. You know, you hope to get fucking, you know, any of those people, right? And it's the same thing with like the NBA games, like 2K comes out. You know, you're like, I hope I get Giannis in this pack.
Giannis, it's Giannis.
Yeah, bro. No, bro. It's fucking Giannis if you're white. And not from Africa.
Oh my god, alright. Well.
But, yeah, I mean, it's just the same model. They just release the same game, copy-pasted every year.
Every year, yeah. Which is pretty much every year.
Yeah. They just released the same thing, copy-pasted. Maybe they enhanced the graphics a little bit, so your dude's cardboard face looks a little bit more like a plastic face now instead of a cardboard face.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's literally the same thing, copy-pasted. And they changed the soundtrack. Like, that's...
But they pretty much get away with that, and that's really annoying that that's been allowed to happen on the watch of. Really, I think our government should be monitoring that because kids play video games. You know, not that adults don't, but kids play.
Well, they kind of are.
Are they?
To a degree. I don't remember. It was a while ago. I think like a couple of years ago or something. They brought up man, now I'm almost tempted to look it up now. But some while ago, it was some game that people were, I think it might have been Overwatch when Overwatch was really popular. But they like had a thing where the government put regulations or something on the loot boxes because of like the kids that were
taking their parents' credit card and spending the mass amounts of money that they do on loot boxes. I don't know if you've seen that viral video of that kid that spent thousands of dollars to get 50,000 what is it, Fortnite coin?
Oh yeah, the Fortnite coins. I have seen I've seen a video where like a Bob was like,
that's
you took my card and bought 50,000 Fortnite tokens or whatever.
She says, "Come here, I'm gonna beat you." And you can hear the kid in the background just screaming. Oh man, but it shows a real issue, man. It really does, and it is an issue. You know, these kids are spending so much money on these loot boxes to get these cosmetics that don't mean anything. And let me get this straight. Cosmetics, they're cool, right? They really are. They're a really cool addition to the games that have been coming out recently. But to sit there and say that they are worth $20 when quite literally sometimes
it's just a line of code.
Yeah, and sometimes, better yet, it's literally just a change in color.
Yeah.
Like he's wearing a different colored suit. Like that's or a different helmet or something.
Yeah.
And you know who's got it down right now is Halo. I don't know if you've been on Master Chief at all recently, but Halo 100% free. They come out with a battle pass. They come every season they do. And you can level that battle pass for free, no expenses to it, and you pay that one fee for Halo, like buying it. And I hope they continue that with the Halo Infinite.
That's kind of the other thing, though, right? Is that like Warzone, for example, you can level up the
battle pass.
Wow, why can't I think? Yeah, you can level up the battle pass for free, but half of the shit that you unlock is locked unless you buy the battle
pass. Yeah, and that's been like that for a while with Fortnite, in other games, PUBG, but I feel
that game.
Yeah. that is a game that died pretty quickly. But I feel like that it would prevent hackers quite a bit. As much as I love free games, it would prevent hacking in video games a lot if you just decided to charge $30 for the game. $30, you know?
Yeah.
Give it a free battle
because then
pass.
You can't make a bunch of accounts over and over again.
Yeah.
And then that's another thing though. Like that's related to the whole thing, right? Is that like because Warzone is free on Battle.net, you can make an infinite amount of accounts if you want to spend the time to do that, and you can just hack forever.
Yeah. And that's an issue, obviously. And, well, Activision's always had an issue of not figuring out a way to ban cheaters in their games. This goes back to Black Ops 2, even. Black Ops 2 is still a hacked game, like, in itself. Yeah. Like, right now, the only people that play it are hackers and people that want to play with these hackers.
Yeah, that happens at every Call of Duty.
Yeah, that happens to every
Once the Call of Duty is done, they just people start hacking it and they just don't care.
And might I add, Activision, it is criminal to charge $60 on a game that was made 10 years ago. It is criminal.
All of the Call of Duties are still like full
retail,
price.
Yeah. And that is criminal, man. And even with you knocking $10 down off of a game that's 12 years old is ridiculous. It should be, at that point, $10. It should be
like $10 max. Also, not to mention the fact that, like 180 people play the game, so there's not even like a player base on it.
Not even a player base to play those games. And I don't know why they do that. I don't know if it's just a server issue. Like, keeping those servers up cost money. Not that you guys don't have it, Activision.
Yeah. I mean, even if that was the issue, just turn the game off at that point.
Yeah.
Don't sell it for
just turn the game off, or better yet, let these the community,
the modders,
let the community of mods take over it, because you have places like IW4X, which is the COD. It's the Modern Warfare 2 modded community that it runs the all the modded servers that are moderated, and they can control the hackers and stuff like that, because they hire people, or they don't hire people, but they have people that sit there in those lobbies and make sure that nobody's hacking. Let them take over those games, honestly. Another thing you could do what Halo did. You know what, 343 has been on a streak of good shit lately. They hired the people from El Dorito. I don't know if you remember that, Dakota. El Dorito, for viewers that are watching, was a project made by Halo fans that was basically taking Halo 3 and building it from the ground up on PC. This was before any news about Master Chief was coming out, and it was a big thing with Halo fans. Everybody wanted Halo on PC, and there wasn't any announcements coming out about it. And lo and behold, eventually, modders caught up, and they said, "Hey, let's do this." They made Halo 3 on PC. Basically, they made servers for it, and it blew up. It went everywhere. It was on Twitch, YouTube, and everybody was enjoying it. But they took it down. Microsoft took it down for copyright reasons, but 343, being a big W for them, was hiring the El Dorito team, the people that worked on El Dorito, into 343, and they are making the Halo Infinite PC side of the game. And that in itself is a W, in my opinion. You were taking people that are inspired by Halo, people that really do care about Halo, to work on Halo, and to make content for it. People that care about the game. They don't just do it for money. They do it for the love of the game. And I feel that's something that
free.
They did it for free, but then they got hired by 343.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said.
Yeah.
That's how you know that they were doing it for fun.
They were doing it for the love of it. Yeah. And it's shown in the past, when you have people that love the game that they're making, like they know, they put the dedication, the time, the effort, it turns out to be a good game. And over the years, that's been forgotten, especially with Call of Duty. I felt like it happened with Call of Duty very quickly. And it was sad, as a person that's a Call of Duty fan, to watch Call of Duty go through a really bad drought of games, with all the advanced movement and stuff like that. Eventually we went back, obviously, and stuff like that. But I feel like that decision was just a money decision as well.
Sure, yeah.
So, if it's something that I'd love to see Activision do as a company, it's definitely let's change some policies around when we're hiring people. When we're looking for people, it's not all about money. Back in the day, they made tons of money off of Call of Duty. You want to know why? Because your community loved it, because your people that were developing the game cared. And I feel that's an issue. That might be a big issue in that company. I could be wrong, you know? No hate to anybody that works at Activision, obviously. You guys made a killer game with Modern Warfare and at Infinity Ward, and I'm sure World War II or Vanguard is going to be a hit, Sledgehammer. So, congrats to you guys in advance. And Treyarch,
Hopefully, at least.
Treyarch, you got some work to do. Let's stop working.
Ever since Black Ops.
Two, you got some stuff to prove. Let's not work on the old engine anymore, eh? But I still love you. Okay. I love Activision. I love Call of Duty. That's not me just bullshitting around trying to keep my reputation good with Activision in case stuff ever was to blow up. Because I do love I love Call of Duty, and I would never want Activision to do bad as a company for that reason. But
also random.
Yeah.
Well, I guess not random, but kind of random for the time. When we were speaking about like the government like influence on loot boxes or whatever, I did just Google stuff, and I'm looking. The UK government actually sometime last year put out a like public consultation thing for like public like people to just go on and like it's basically a public survey that they put out, and they put it on there, and they just have it on there to see like what people think about it, like if they think that the way that it works is like good. They're seeking to understand like ways it could cause harm in the nature of like the market and shit like that.
Right.
And they were looking into current protections already, like parental controls and stuff like that, and like asking people how effective they thought it was, and they're like looking into considering loot boxes under gambling law. So,
and in my opinion, they should be. That's
yeah, I mean they
given.
should be to
an extent.
To an extent for sure. Because I mean, listen, I'm not gonna lie. If you go on the website, I don't remember what the website is, but if you go on the website for there's like a tracker for League of Legends where you can check how much money you spent on your League of Legends account. I'm into the thousands. Okay. I know for a fact I am. I've seen it for myself. Okay. So if you are a child under the age of 18 that has no real concept of
spending
money or anything like that, it could definitely become an issue.
Oh yeah, 100%.
If you're an adult, you know what's happening, right? So,
or you should. And if you have a gambling issue, get help. And that's not me being mean. I don't mean to make it sound mean, but it is a big issue in the world.
Speaking of gambling issues,
yeah.
Why don't we talk real quick about Twitch?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you were talking a little bit about it before, right? Like Twitch has kind of an inability to fix issues that are happening on its platform.
Correct.
Like with creators and all that. One of the recent issues that some people think it might be an issue, some people think it's not, typical how problems work.
Yeah.
But the current one that people are complaining about is that the meta on Twitch right now is gambling streams. Where people will they put 18 plus in their titles and everything, and they have like 18 plus gambling, blah blah blah. But there's no like way to make it to where only 18 plus registered accounts on Twitch can watch your stream, right? So
correct.
So they put like 18 plus in their title, gambling, etc., stuff like that, and then they just go onto an online gambling website and they gamble. Now, me personally, I've watched a few of these. I do find that at points they can be entertaining. Right? if you watch Big Joe freaking spend 20K on a slot and then win back 100K. You know, it's kind of hype a little bit, right? So
Yeah.
But a lot of people, you know, big creators and stuff like that are bringing up like Pokimane, big Twitch creator, brought up that she thinks it's kind of, you know, not the best thing to be doing on Twitch. It's kind of scummy. H3H3, big YouTube creators, big in the podcast game now.
Yeah.
More you know, Ethan Klein on there has been taking fire at the gambling on there, right? So, like, what are your opinions on the well, actually, before we get to that, I will say, Twitch did say, I think sometime this past week, that they plan to implement. I don't know if they have implemented it, but they plan on implementing. Because what was happening for some of these people, like Trainwrecks, for example, big Twitch streamer, he's one of the main people, like one of the biggest gambling streamers that are doing it right now.
Yeah.
He is sponsored by the gambling website he uses. They give him money every month, and for him
Really?
to only use for him to only use their website, and he promotes that like on his Twitch that he's sponsored by them on that gambling website, etc. And he has like a code where people can you know, like any other referral code, you can go on there and put in the referral code.
Okay, so sorry about that, guys. You're gonna experience a cut there in the video side of things. We ended up, unfortunately, on my end, I ended up having a power issue over here. DTE ended up, which is my power. I live in Michigan, so that's who controls our power. They decided that they were gonna flash my power on and off about 7-8 times. So it took a little bit for my thing to come back on, but now we're back and we're talking about gambling, Twitch streams, and how Twitch is incompetent. I'm gonna let Dakota take it from here about Trainwrecks, because I did not know anything about Trainwrecks being sponsored by a gambling company. So.
Okay, let's see. Not sure exactly where it was, so some of this might be repeated.
Right.
But let's see, where's that? Okay, so Trainwrecks, one of the biggest gambling streamers doing it right now. He is sponsored by a gambling website that he uses, and he lets like his you know, his chat know and all that good stuff. And they Twitch has started to do the good old not let people that are sponsored by the sites that they're using. You can't have your like sponsorship stuff in your like description for anyone to click on and use or anything like that. So they're basically doing that. I think there was some other stuff they're doing, but that's like the biggest thing that they were doing, I think, is just not letting the people sponsored by the gambling companies that are doing it have it in their like stuff, basically.
So in a sense, they're taking away the ability to be sponsored by these gambling companies.
Kind of, but to the same degree, like you can still be sponsored by them, just can't really promote your stuff in like your description or anything like that.
Sure.
So that's one of the moves they've done here. And that's just you know, that's just like the newest thing that people are, right? Like before it was hot tub streams, etc., etc. So like going off of that, seeing that they are kind of doing something at least at the beginning stages here for the people that are complaining about the gambling streams and whatnot, you know, what are your opinions on Twitch handling their problems as a whole?
I personally stand, and this has been like this for a while. Twitch has been incompetent for a while in multiple ways. And this trails back to things from way back in the day. But one that I want to cover that's more recent is that's an issue with Twitch is not giving a reason, a good enough reason for a ban, or not giving a reason at all. This has been going on since Twitch has changed their name from Just in TV. If you didn't know, back in the day, that's what Twitch was named. I was around for that. I was very young. And I was just getting to know Twitch, or like the website itself, and they had switched it to Twitch because it was bought by Amazon. And they had an issue back in the day with policy, and that was they did not have to give you a good reason on why you were banned. And this was actually an issue in the actual written policy in the terms of service and whatnot. And it was never talked about because none of the big partner streamers would have this issue. It was mainly just small streams and affiliate streamers, and it's been an issue for a long time. But the first time we really saw it hit a partnered streamer was Dr. Disrespect.
Dr. Disrespect.
Yeah, and to this day we have not gotten a good reason
why he got it.
Yeah. We have not gotten a good reason, any reason for that matter, with Dr. Disrespect. And I think not giving a reason to, at least to Dr. Disrespect, right? At least give him a reason. I think it's outright disrespectful because this is, at the end of the day, this is a business at this point in time. I consider Twitch more of a job for streamers than I do more of a hobby. For a lot of people, it's a hobby. But for some people, it's their livelihood. It's how they live. Yeah. And whether Twitch wants to treat it as such, it's how they live off of these Twitch streamers, the amount of money they make. And another big issue that I have with Twitch, Twitch should not take home 50% of their revenue
of subs. Yeah.
In general, they take 50%. Through bits, subs, and everything, and they take 50%, which leaves you with $2.50 if it's a $5 sub, which we're just gonna say that most people are.
Which, speaking of that slight thing to trail off of here, Twitch just released their regional subs.
Really?
Yeah, to where subs in different places now cost different amounts of money. So subs in the US and like Canada, like NA, I think, pretty much like the North American continent, are still $5. But the lowest sub that you can buy, which I think is in Turkey, is $1 to get a sub.
Wow. And that's interesting.
Yeah, so, and they still take half. So if someone subs from Turkey, you get 50 cents for that sub.
And that's always been an issue with Twitch. They've always taken 50% of the revenue, and back in the day, that was okay when Twitch wasn't considered a livelihood job. You couldn't live off of Twitch even back in the day. Like, you just couldn't. And YouTubers were they talk about it all the time on podcasts now. If you were back in the day when CNNers, Vanoss, T Martin, and all them were the main people, they'll talk about it nowadays on podcasts. Nadeshot. On Nadeshot and Courage show from 100 Thieves, they talk about it. How back in the day you didn't make much money off of YouTube
there wasn't
AdSense.
A lot of ads. Like a lot of people that wanted a part of YouTube and stuff like that. So
and that was a big, and so they would have to work these second jobs. So in the back of the day, if you took 50% of the revenue, fine, okay. You could slip by it because that's Twitch's main revenue. It's the revenue that they get off of other Twitch streamers, subs, and whatnot, along with ads nowadays, which is another whole big issue with Twitch. But we'll stay on the topic right now of them taking 50%. Twitch says, well, you still get $2.50. Well, no, you don't, because now you have to take into account taxes. And it's for some places, now that they've done this change that you're talking about, how do you tax 50 cents? Like, that's pretty much just good. It's pretty much all going to be taken away from these people, and that's in itself. It's quite ridiculous. You know, is it good for the viewers now that you only have to pay $1 in Turkey? For Turkey people, yeah, You know, that's
Yeah,
great.
and that's another thing with VPNs. You can change where you're located.
Yeah, and in
So
theory, you only have to spend $1 on a sub.
yeah, so you could, if you have a VPN, you could change your location to Turkey and then subscribe to your favorite streamer from Turkey, even though you're in NA for $4 less, right? So
Yep. And at the end of the day, they're losing, you're winning, and you think that'd be good for you, but it is. But at the same time, you're hurting those people that
yeah,
would love to pursue this as a job and that put a lot of time and effort. There's some people, in my opinion, that don't deserve it. Like, if I'm honest, reaction channels, you can literally go suck it. Like, you guys don't deserve the amount of money that is given to you. You know. Like, for just reacting. If you do other things than reacting and you just post some reaction videos on the side, you know, just as like a side thing, I'm totally down with it. I actually enjoy watching some reaction videos. But if that's your main source of income is reacting to content that is not yours, and you believe that you earn the right to the max amount of money, I disagree. But that opinion.
On that I agree, but I'd say there's like 15% of reaction channels, like on Twitch or YouTube, whatever, that I'd say make a good like
percentage.
Well, not even that, but they actually make a good like consumer product with their reactions, right? Like they go in depth with reactions on things. You know, they might explain stuff like that people wouldn't know beforehand, et cetera, et cetera. But, you know, if you're one of the like other 85% of the reaction channels that sits there and you just go, oh, hell no, when something happens, like on the screen, or you like laugh the whole time or something like that, but you don't say anything, you don't transform anything, you know, you don't do anything except for plaster yourself in the corner of the video and laugh, then like, yeah, no, those people, no, you're just stealing other people's stuff,
content for money. And that's ridiculous. But again, it's opinion based, and I won't dive into that topic today. Maybe that's a topic we cover in one of the next episodes. But yeah, for Twitch to take that much money and then not take tax into account is quite ridiculous. If you're gonna do that, you need Twitch. You're going to need to at least take into account that okay, now we can only take like 1%. If they're only gonna make if they're only gonna make $1, then we can only take like I don't know. Can you really earn anything off of that at that point in time? No.
Well,
they are, but
if you use the turkey sub, for example, it's 50 cents, right? So depending on, like, if you live in a state, right, depending on your state's income tax, you have to take out, 10% of that. 10% of 50 cents is 5 cents. So now you're 45 cents. So now you have to take out, any other taxes that your state might have, right? So at the end of that, you might have what, 40 cents, 35 cents after that, right? So
yeah, and that's...
I mean, it's really and if Twitch didn't take the whole 50% off of that dollar, you might have you might come out of that with double. You might have 70 cents, right?
Yep.
So
and that, like I said, it's ridiculous that they are able to take that much money out of
especially
your subs
because
in bits.
Yeah, especially because now at this point, Twitch isn't what it was before when it started, right?
Oh,
now they're their own business. They have, revenues of money that aren't just taking 50% from the streamers, right? Like they get paid by people to advertise on there, all that good stuff.
Well,
I'm sure that they would be fine.
Well, when you're
decreasing their 50% to like 25, they'd probably be fine completely getting rid of it, but who knows if they'd ever do that, right?
Yeah, well, if you're owned by a company, such as Amazon, right? Amazon could play Twitch at a loss and still be fine as a company. Like it blows my mind, and like I said, Amazon's all about earning the money. So I'm not even playing it. take 30, take 30%. So a split of 70-30, and then you're at least making more sense than you do now. But right now it doesn't make sense at all. Like, I'm sitting here trying to think about how that even begins to make any sort of sense, and it doesn't. It just doesn't. And it's shameful that companies feel so okay with taking so much money. It's like the issue with the music industry. I know I'm trailing off really far at this point, right? But these people that they sign with these labels when they're really young, and then they blow up, make all this money, and then they're like, man, then this label's like, I own all that money. That's my money because of that contract you signed.
Yeah, especially, because like nowadays, like you could be like a small, like, well, not that this is super small in like the music industry, but like you could be like a 100,000 monthly listener like artist, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty big, right? But it's not, you're not Drake, right?
Right.
But now, for example, especially in like the climate today, right, with like TikTok songs and shit like that, one person posts your video on TikTok, it goes viral, people start using your song, you go from 100,000 monthly listeners to 2 million, right?
Yeah.
Just based off of that one TikTok trend. And then I'm sure you keep quite a few of those people because they might like the song or whatever. So, say that one TikTok trend takes you from 100,000, you go to 1 million average monthly listeners, like that actually stay around. Now you're kind of blowing up a little bit. And that record deal you signed with your label that you have to get, 50% of your earnings from your like songs on top of whatever they're paying you is now like entirely different from what you had before, right? Before it might have been like, oh, okay, I'm getting a decent amount of money here, like I can live with this, and then I'll get like extra money based off of how my songs do or whatever. Well, now your songs are making a couple $1 million, and you're only getting, maybe 50% of it, right? Maybe less than that. Also, not to mention, you signed a contract in that thing to where the label, like, you are required to make 4 albums for that label, and they own all of the masters for all of the songs.
Yep, and you don't own any of the copyrights, I was gonna say.
Yeah, so even when you're done with that record deal, those songs you made, they're not yours. Yeah. They're the record labels.
So you don't have any control over the revenue, you don't have any control, and they'll obviously they'll write off what most of their stuff is. They'll be like, oh, this went to this, making this went to whatever, mass producing your album, this is where this money went. And obviously it didn't, right? It's what do they call it? Hollywood accounting? I believe is the correct term of it. But yeah, it's basically Hollywood accounting, and they basically just screw you out of all this money that you could have earned if you'd have just stayed solo. It's a trap, and Twitch is no better, and I have no remorse for it. I have anything that comes bad towards Twitch's way for what they're doing to content creators and streamers. I have no remorse for Twitch. Like, it's coming to you, and it's just like these record companies. They're getting ratted out for it now, like these labels, and now they're responding to it. Like, Logic and what was his label? Dakota. Logic and that one label, and they weren't paying the people apparently that he was doing stuff with.
Oh yeah.
All that controversy.
And I don't remember what label he was with.
Yeah, it was some type of label that he was with, and
they weren't paying his producers that he was working with and shit like that. I think is what it was. Even though, like, they were the producers of like the songs he was making and shit like that. Like, I don't remember exactly the whole situation. Because it was a little bit ago now at this point. But
it was a little bit ago at this point. But it's the fact that it happens.
I think it was to the point where I think Logic was taking out the money that they were supposed to pay to them out of his own like
Pocket.
money
Yeah.
and giving it to them. And then like eventually they were like, well, Logic's a big like voice in the like music genre or whatever,
Yep.
right? So
well, in general.
well, yeah, but they you know, the label or whatever, I think ended up paying them or whatever the fuck that they wanted. But you know, that doesn't happen for 90% of people.
Yep.
So
most of them don't get that money ever, and that's crazy to even hear, and it's sad. And it's upsetting to see the company that really had it. They had it right for a while. Twitch did really have it right. The copyright thing, when that first came out, like all the copyrighted music and stuff like that, I already seen that coming when Twitch first started kicking off Steam. I was like, man, I'm waiting for Twitch to have to go to YouTube rules with the copyright. I was always waiting for that to happen, so I'm not surprised about it. But
oh yeah,
Twitch had it right. Other than that, for the most part, for a while, they had their issues, but every company does. And but recently, a lot of their issues has shined a little bit more, and a lot of the old issues have really shown with Twitch. You know, especially with the stuff that we've mentioned already. So Twitch has a lot to change as a company, and I am very hopeful that Twitch will start listening, but I have my doubts because it's Twitch. And over the years of being owned by Amazon, like as Amazon has grown as a company, they've found out that they have a lot of control over the people that stream on their website, and they can silence you real quick on Twitch. They're not afraid to ban somebody. They've proven that with Dr. Disrespect and other streamers of the sorts.
Yeah, not only that, but they don't have to give you a reason. They can just do it.
They can just do it because of their stupid terms of services. Which, like I said, it's ridiculous, but hopefully we eventually get something from Twitch, and Twitch starts coming to their senses on what they should be doing correctly and what they should what needs to change for certain things to happen. But until then, you never know.
Yeah.
Well, what was the other thing we wanted to cover, Dakota? Since my power decided to go ahead and do its thing.
I think that was most of what we had like laid out topic wise for today. Was everything. You know, it did kind of randomly throw a little bit of a loop in there with the whole little power situation you had, but
yeah, it was definitely. And again, you gotta love.
You know, speaking of power problems at the beginning of the episode,
we weren't lying, guys. Power has been really inconsistent over the past week and a half over here in Michigan. I hope that anybody else that got hit by that storm, hopefully they get your power back on if it's not on yet.
Yo, anyone in Florida that's listening, I feel bad for you. You're about to get hit by that big ass fucking tropical storm at some point. So
yeah, we'll keep y'all in mind while that's happening, and we hope nothing but the best, obviously. But I think we're gonna wrap it up here today. For at least this episode. Next week we're gonna have a pretty cool episode, I believe. It's episode 5, so I plan to have I believe Kyle's gonna be back for that episode. It's gonna be me, Kyle, Dakota, who's here today. So you guys will get a pretty good episode then. Have some topics lined up for you guys, and a lot of just random bullshit. You know, more on the random bullshit side, because that's what we want to attempt at doing. But that's what this whole podcast is about. Random bullshit that's been going on in the world that we want to give our thoughts on. So yeah, we'll talk to you guys in the next episode. Make sure you guys go and subscribe to us on YouTube if you haven't, at TheBoysExperience. Also, go and give our podcast a listen on Spotify. You do not have to pay for Spotify Premium to have Spotify. Spotify is free. You can get premium to have no ads on Spotify if you prefer that. If not,
Also, if you're a student, there's a discount.
there is a discount for students. True. So make sure you guys go give it a listen on Spotify for the YouTube viewers. Also, if you prefer to listen on Anchor, I found out there's people that listen on Anchor. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying it, and hopefully, if you guys want to, give us some feedback, and maybe we incorporate some stuff that you guys enjoy. So, until the next episode, we'll talk to you then.